back to my channel. The last week had been super hectic for me, but now I am back and I feel so happy to be sharing my views and opinions on pageants with you all. But if you're watching me for the very first time, I am Vagisha Mishra and I review and decode beauty pageants at my channel. So if you don't want to miss out on any pageant story, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you'll be the first to get notified whenever a video goes live at my channel. Now coming to today's video, the excitement of the pageant aficionados and aspirants has gone boundless after Femina Miss India organization has decided to push the Miss India 2020 pageant online. And lately I have received so many requests asking me to talk about how to stand out in an online pageant. So to unravel the same, let's get started. But before we begin, let me share a very interesting fact with all of you that Miss India organization has now reduced the height criteria to 5'3", which means a lot many young women can now step forward and live their Miss India dream journey. The auditions will take place virtually as soon as the screening is done after the online registration, which is most likely to be closed by the end of next month. The motto of this year's Femina Miss India pageant is original, optimistic and online. And a lot of you asked me how to stand out in the eyes of the pageant critiques and the jury panel of Miss India organization. So just by looking at the very motto, original, optimistic and online, you can understand that they are looking for somebody who is original, someone who respects her individuality, is inspired by a lot many people but still carries her own individuality, and instead of imitating or copying somebody, embraces her own unique qualities and try to present her better version with every passing day. When we are looking at any pageant aspirant, we always look for somebody who has a very positive approach towards life, someone who takes up her success as gracefully as she does with her failures. So someone who is very positive in her approach towards life. That's what we as pageant critiques and the jury panel of Femina Miss India organization, or let's say any pageant, looks for in any pageant aspirant. You need to be someone who knows how to support other women to fix themselves and is always there to help the people out there, and someone who always embraces her uniqueness wherever she goes. So if you want to win any pageant, please embrace your unique qualities and embrace your individuality before you lose yourself to become somebody who you don't even are aware about. Now coming back to the online pageant, there are several pros and cons of an online pageant. Like when a girl competes in an online pageant, it's very hard for the critiques or the jury to understand who is it who stands out in the crowd, because usually we don't get to see any group picture and we don't understand that who is it who is actually standing out whenever you go in the crowd. But again, the online pageants always has its own added advantage, like it's hassle free, there is no traveling involved, so a girl can be completely focused, comfortable and confident at her own abode. But what is it that can make or break your chances in an online pageant? Let's talk about that. Number 1, proper lighting. The best time for you to shoot videos for your pageants is the daytime, when there is a lot of natural light available. But again, while making your videos, please be ensured that you are walking in the direction opposite to the sun, because if your camera is against the sun, then the video or the photo captured could be quite darker. If possible, take a help of your photographer friend so you don't have to struggle a lot when you're making your walk videos or your introduction videos. Just in case if you're shooting in your living room during the night time, if there is a matter of urgency that you need to send some video immediately, then always ensure to have a ring light or proper artificial lighting like studio lights, so that your video has a proper lighting effect whenever you're shooting your picture or your video for the pageants. Create a balanced and shadow-free look, and always ensure to have a partner to assist you, because if you don't have a partner to assist you, you may end up getting quite tired and your makeup washed out by the end of the day. So ultimately you have to look fresh and graceful whenever you're presenting yourself on the camera. So always have somebody who can help you out while setting up your entire setup while making your videos or your picture shoots. Now number 2, proper angle. As much as it is very important to have proper lighting in your videos or in your pictures, it is extremely important to know your best angles. Now everybody has certain specific angles by which we look fitter, slimmer and more beautiful. So you have to ensure which angles work the best for you. And in order to know that, you can get yourself clicked in different angles or either click your own pictures with the help of your mobile phone, pose in front of mirror and understand which angle makes you look the best, makes you look fitter and slimmer and accentuates your facial features, accentuates your fitness and makes you look overall quite an impressive personality. Now another important thing which you have to keep in mind is that you always have to keep your camera at the either eye level or at the higher level. So whenever you're looking at the camera at your eye level or somewhere which is placed near your higher than the eye level, then you look quite defined and slim. So this is one trick which you can use in order to shoot your pictures or record your videos. Also, don't place your camera at such a place where it becomes quite strainful for you to look at the camera. So be very comfortable whenever you're recording any video or whenever you're doing even a sit down video. If you have to shoot your introduction video, please ensure that your camera is placed at an eye level. Now the number 3 trick is don't keep your camera static. Now this again brings me to say that take a help of your photographer friend who knows how to play smartly with the cameras. Now if you would have watched the Miss Universe pageant, you must have seen how the contestants are covered from their toe to their head when they're walking on the runway. The same thing if you apply for your online pageant while you're preparing your videos for your walk, that would be extremely helpful for you. See, if you put your camera in a very static motion which is not moving and is strictly placed at some place, then the audience might fail to notice your facial expressions or your body language, which are the key factors in order to stand out in any of the rounds, be it the swimsuit round. Now Femina Miss India doesn't have the swimsuit round, but be it any round, the evening gown round or any kind of walk video which you are doing, the audience will fail to recognize your facial expressions and your body language if you keep your camera static. That's why I prefer you to take a help of any photographer friend who can record your motion very nicely from your toe to your head and can make you look quite elegant and tempting whenever it comes to your walk video. Now this doesn't mean that you have to go crazy with your choreography and your camera's angle, because ultimately your goal is to show how effectively you can walk and what are your facial expressions. So don't go crazy with the cameras because if you keep on overdoing anything, then the audience will always tend to divert their attention towards the camera positioning and other things, and the attention which needs to be remain on you and your performance shall be moved to something else. So please always remember that you have to be a little bit playful with the camera, but again don't overdo it. Like when you see the Miss Universe pageant, you must have seen when the camera focuses on the close-up shots of each and every contestant, how the contestants makes their faces, what kind of expressions they bring on their faces in order to stand out. So this is something which you start to learn. So watch all the previous editions of the Miss Universe pageant. Now you must be thinking, why am I giving the reference of Miss Universe pageant when I'm talking about Miss World, which is Miss World India, which is Femina Miss India organization, and ultimately the winner of Femina Miss India organization goes to the Miss World pageant. But still my point here is that the Miss Universe pageant is always about the playfulness the candidates bring out whenever they are giving poses in front of the camera. So this is one thing which you need to keep in mind, that how expressive you can be with your facial expressions, and that will happen only if your camera is not static, especially when you are making a walk video. Now the same thing goes with your talent round. If you are dancing, so ensure that the entire dance has been shot in the close-up shot, the mid-length shot and the full-length shot, only one particular angle is not taken whenever your talent round video is shot. Or if you're painting, the focus should also go on the painting which you have made and how you're making it. So it should also focus on you while you're painting anything, and it should also focus on your painting as well. So this is how you need to keep the camera motion quite playful yet very elegant and sophisticated. Now the number 4 trick which I am going to give you is your selection of outfits. So we as women tend to get lured by the range of clothing, but what might look great in person might not look great in pictures as well. So you have to understand that before sending your final entry towards any online pageant, be it Miss India pageant or any online pageant where you're sending your entry to, always ensure to wear that particular outfit, get your picture shot, get your video shot, and then send it further for the final entry which you're submitting in any online pageant. Also, the selection of the outfit should always be done in accordance with the background, like which color pops out effectively and beautifully in what given background, at what place you're going to shoot, and what is the basic background of that particular place, and how you are going to stand out. So always ensure that you are choosing your outfits in accordance with the background where you're going to shoot your videos or your pictures. Now the number 5th trick is that the location matters. So human beings have a tendency to be attracted with pleasant visuals. That doesn't mean that you go on over decorating your living room or your background in order to stand out, but you have to understand that nothing awkward comes in your background, like a laundry basket or any cluttery corner. So you have to be quite sure about where you're filming your video. Is your room tidy enough or not? Needless to say, these things are quite basic, but you have to ensure that nothing awkward appears in your video out of the blue. Your background should not be clumsy at all. It should be decent and minimalist so that the attention remains on you and your performance and not how magnificent or how clumsy your background looks like. Eliminate the extras from your background, like walking in front of a TV doesn't seem to be a very good idea. Choose a background which has minimum distraction in terms of presence or in terms of noise. If you're shooting for your evening gown round, ensure that all the intricate details of your evening gown are reflected well in the camera and the entire evening gown is being captured by the camera. Just like how you see the girls walking at the evening gown competition of the Miss Universe pageant, if you're able to do something similar to that, it will give you an extra brownie points. So in many of the apps and in many of the softwares, there is a facility of blurring your background, but I would strongly advise you not to blur your background because it may blur your picture as well as your outfit's clarity. So it's always better to not blur your background. Instead, make a clear and minimalist room where you can stand out effectively and the focus is not on the background but only on you. Now the number 6 trick which I want to give you is that don't play music whenever you're walking and you're making the video of your walk. Now you must be thinking that there is a whole vibe associated to the kind of music you use while walking down the runway. Then why am I telling you not to play your music while you're walking down? So it has 2 benefits. The first one is that whenever you record a video and the music is already on, then it creates a quite echoing effect, and the entire audio which is produced by the end of shooting that video, that is not appropriate. So it's always good to add music once you have stopped recording your video, when you're finished with your shooting. So that's one trick. And another thing is that whenever you record your video and then you add the music to it, the another advantage which you can have is that you can add the music which you think is appropriate to your pace, like what pace you're walking to, you can fit in the music as according to that. So this is how you can use the music advantage when it comes to your walk. Also, whenever you add the music after you have finished recording your video, the sound of the music is quite clear and crisp and it gives a more elegant and polished sort of impression. So that's always a good idea to go on adding music after you have finished recording any video. Now my number 7 trick which I want you to follow religiously is, please get your videos edited before you finally submit it to the organization. Now, if you cannot afford to hire a professional editor who can edit your videos, you can again take a help of your friend who has a decent editing skills. And by editing, I don't mean that you have to add unnecessary filters, adding color and enhancing the use of the picture, but the basic editing skills which require the trimming of unnecessary part, enhancing your voice modulation, touching and brushing up the lighting, and so on and so forth, so your videos are professional enough to be considered. Please don't send your raw videos as the final entry towards any pageant, because this may give a very bad impression about you, that you're not active and you're not serious enough to get your videos properly filmed and edited before you actually send them to the organization. Now, number 8 is proper internet connection. I mean, it's very basic to understand that you need to have a proper internet connection. Please ensure that your internet connection is properly checked before you go for any live interview, any personal interview if you're going to. Because if your connection is poor, they may see a very blurry video from your end, or your voice seems to be cracking in between, and it gives a very unprofessional sort of impression. So always ensure that you have properly checked your internet connection before you go for any live or any live interview sort of sub-contest, which is the part of any pageant. And now number 9, and still one of the most important factors which I want you to bring attention to, is your eye contact. Now you must be thinking that what is the need of eye contact here, now that you're filming your videos, you're recording it, or you're simply going for any live interview, then what is the need of eye contact here? Now, a very common mistake that people make while filming their video is that they stare at their screen. Now you can see how my attention is shifted towards the screen and it looks like I'm looking somewhere else. So please always ensure that you're looking towards your camera lens and you're talking straight into the camera whenever you're recording or filming your video. So you have to understand that in order to maintain an eye contact, you need to stare at the camera lens and not at the screen, so that your video is properly filmed. So be it any sit down interview video or be it any walk video, always ensure that your eyes are watching straight at the camera lens and it is placed at a proper level, just like we discussed in number 2 point. So that's it for this point. And now number 10, but one of the most important factors which you need to bring in attention, is practice your setup. Now when you're shooting virtually for your online pageants, you're filming your videos, try shooting yourself in different backgrounds, different clothes, different rooms. Try changing your background and see what works best for you. In what place there is a proper lighting, in what place there is a proper internet connection. So all of these things you should always practice all of these things beforehand, before you submit your final entry or before you step into the final pageant. So you have to ensure all of these things and keep it in a trial and error basis method, and always ensure to have practiced all of these things, be it your background, your outfits, your makeup, what looks best on camera, what is faltered in the camera. So all of these things should be taken in consideration, and don't let all of these things to be a surprise in your pageant day. So always ensure to have practiced everything before you actually start submitting your final entry for the pageant. So these were few of the tips which I had to share with all of you who are going to apply for Femina Miss India 2020 pageant. I am super excited for the pageant which is to be followed very soon. And will the entire pageant go virtually, or they will have the grand finale in person? That is something which we shall see in the coming days. But again, I'm quite excited for the pageant and I cannot wait for the pageant to begin, and I know that you too are excited for Femina Miss India 2020 as well. Do let me know in the comment section if you want to watch anything specific at my channel. I ensure to go through the comment section always and answer as many queries or any requests as I can. If you like this video, please give it a huge fat thumbs up and share it with your friends who are preparing for the pageant, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and help me build this platform. Follow me on all social media outlets. The link has been left in the description box below. Thank you for watching and I will see you guys in the next one.